Polpettine al formaggio e quinoa. Meatless meatballs. They're delicious, they're convenient, especially when you have a big party. You don't know who is vegetarian or whatever. These are a great element to have. But first, let's begin with the sauce. A little bit of oil. Let's put some onions. And here I have some plum tomatoes, San Marzano, you know I like, crushed it by hand. I always buy the whole tomatoes. Not the crush, not the puree, the whole San Marzano or plum tomatoes, and then I crush them. Okay, when the onions are wilted, we'll add the tomato. And here I have some water to slosh out the can, but also to slosh out this. And you need it to make the sauce, okay? Fresh bay leaves for flavor. The salt for the tomatoes, a little peperoncino. I want to give it a little zest, just like that. And we'll let that simmer away while we make the meatballs. So, you need eggs to bind the meatballs, a little bit of salt in there, and let's whisk the eggs. And we will add all of the ingredients to make these meatballs. So, shredded zucchini, very good. Vegetable, you shred them and you put them in. Breadcrumbs, of course, to bind it all. This is panko breadcrumbs. I like them a little crunchier. Grated cheese and plenty of it because you don't have the meat. So you need that substance. Let's see where we are so far. Okay. Here we have the cooked quinoa, and the quinoa is wonderful, but you know, you can substitute rice, you can do it with barley, you can do it with cooked lentils, absolutely. Some chopped thyme for that herbal flavor, and chopped parsley. Give it a good mix here. Whenever you're making fillings, the eggs are bigger than you expected. It's maybe a little wetter. Use a little more cheese or a little more of the breadcrumbs to pull it together. Sometimes the eggs are smaller. There's not enough moisture in it. And what can you add? You could add another egg, or you can add even a little bit of milk to moisten it more and then get it going. So this looks like it's pretty good. You can make this in advance. You can keep in the refrigerator. Actually, it will roll better if it is chilled. So you can leave it in the refrigerator even overnight. A nice ice cream scoop will give you the same size of meatballs all over. And then you just kind of roll them. And here you can get the family involved. People can help. And again, you can make them, leave them in the refrigerator, and fry them later or closer to the event. So I will finish rolling these up. Celebrate like an Italian. Fruity spritzers. So let's get the party going. Oh my goodness. What is an Italian party without a little bit of kind of spritzers in the beginning? Here I'll show you two syrups that I love. It's one with grapefruit juice, grapefruit peel, the anise seeds, and sugar. And you boil it down until it goes to about half of the consistency, nice and dense and flavorful and sweet enough. Then I like the blackberries, the sugar, and basil. And again, you make a syrup, you cook it until it's nice and syrupy, you strain it all, and voila, you got your blackberry syrup. So the spritzer, it could be made with Prosecco, which the way I like it, or if you have children and kids, just some sparkling water will do. So let's make a little spritzer for the kids. Instead of buying all those juices, you make your own. You make your own fresh, and it's delicious. And all it takes, there you go, looks beautiful. You know, maybe 1 or 2 ice cubes. I like a few blackberries in there. That's delicious. Sometimes, you know, especially if you have the kids, this is what's this basil in the drink? So put the little mint. I think they can relate to that. So that's one. Now to get to the adults, the grapefruit and the Prosecco, of course. Just like that. I like a few ice cubes in there. Have some slices or pieces. The grapefruit, that's it. And I think a mint would go as well here. You can put the mint inside so it releases its flavors into the drink. Salute, chin chin, whatever we say, I'll taste it. Let's see. Okay, buono, nice. Just enough acidity, the sparkle of the Prosecco, and it's yet nice and mild, refreshing. So here you go. You got two great spritzers. The sauce is cooking. And here we're gonna fry. And you should be about 360 degrees to fry these. And they are ready to go in. It's just a little bit above that. But once I put the meatballs in, it'll bring the temperature down. And when you're dropping it in, go close to the oil. Don't drop it from top because it's gonna squirt on you. So we'll give it a, they get nice and brown. You know, most of the ingredients, the quinoa is cooked, the cheese and the bread doesn't need that much cooking. You just have to make sure that the egg is thoroughly cooked. And get yourself one of these spiders. They're so practical, inexpensive, but practical to pull out the pasta, to fry things. As you can see now, the temperature is down to 350. Maybe just raise it up so it's at a constant. Because if it's not on a constant, if it goes up and down, the outside overcooks, the inside doesn't cook. So you want it at a constant temperature that it cooks thoroughly. This looks nice. I think these are done. The one thing when you fry them, make sure that you put a little bit of salt over them, just like that. So it goes in, and let's go for the next batch. Let's finish off. Cocktails, you know, as important as food almost. You come in, the bar is very important. People like to wait for their guests or socialize at the bar. Of course, cocktail is the focus there. And I have my favorites. You know, I can go anywhere from a Bellini, a peach Bellini. I can go to a Campari and soda. A Negroni is also good. And I like mine straight up with a twist of orange and so on down the line. But I always tend to gravitate towards Italian-based cocktails. So the meatballs are done. I have some fried with some sauce on the side like I promised you, but I have some cooking in the sauce, and they are done. That's it. And you know, depends on if you have a big table, if you have a buffet, you can pile it all up on one. You can make it in two presentations, two plates, one on each end of the table. Okay. Okay, that looks really good. Now, we put thyme in there, and it's always a good idea if you're gonna decorate with an herb, use the same herb that was put inside, just like that on the side. And I think that looks pretty good. We're ready to party. I'm ready. I have a little Prosecco on the side here, maybe a little more just to let me refresh it up. I like my bubbles. Let me first try this one. This is maybe less messy. I need a little of this. So now, let me take one of the meatballs with the sauce. And I guess this one, I need to use a fork. You know, it's crunchier there, you need a little bit of the sauce, but here it's really kind of velvety. It's really, really good. And as you can see, I'm really enjoying this. I certainly have enough for all of us. So, as I always say, come and join me. Tutti a tavola a mangiare. Vieni.
To learn more about Lidia, access to videos, and to get recipes, tips, techniques, and much more, visit us online at lidiasitaly.com.